Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be talking about why I became an esthetician. So if you want to know a little more about my whole journey, then keep on watching. Okay, so let's get started. So I first got into skincare because I've always loved taking care of my skin. That's always been a passion of mine. I also like doing my makeup, but I'm not the best and I don't love wearing makeup all the time. So that's why I was always so passionate about taking care of my skin since I was younger. Just because since I don't like wearing makeup all the time, I want my skin to naturally look glowy and beautiful and just healthy overall. And I do like wearing makeup sometimes, not every day, but you know, sometimes. And I am a big believer that without a clear canvas, which is your face, your makeup won't look as natural and as flawless as if you do take very good care of your skin. So now let's get to how I actually got into the aesthetics industry. Okay, so let's see, this probably goes back to high school. I used to have some skin problems. It wasn't like crazy bad acne or, you know, skin problems, but it was, you know, like pretty often. I mean, I still am a teenager, but back then obviously I had a lot more breakouts than I do now. So that really got me into actually, you know, studying what ingredients were in the products and, you know, what I was putting into my face, and just like overall what products I was using. And I really thought it was interesting to know all of the ingredients more in depth that were in all of these skincare products and what they did and how they affected your skin and just how they helped them, or the opposite, how, you know, it made your skin worse. So that really got me more interested in, you know, the aesthetics industry. However, back then I never knew being an esthetician was a thing. I never really thought about it. I knew, you know, going to school to be a cosmetologist was a thing, but I never knew going to school to study, you know, everything about the skin and how to make it better and all that was even a thing to go to school for, until I graduated in 2018. And then I knew I was moving to California in like a little bit, so I didn't want to start school over there. But also I wanted to be doing something, obviously. So my sister told me about the industry and the career and everything, and we started touring a few schools in downtown Chicago. And then after touring a few of them, I decided to go to the Aveda Institute in Chicago, and that is where I went to school and got my certification. So I chose the Aveda Institute to go to aesthetics school because I like a more holistic, natural path to skincare, and they are mostly known for having more natural plant-based ingredients in most of their skincare products. So that's what really got me into choosing that school rather than other ones that I toured. So the aesthetics program is about 7 months long, and every state has different hour requirements. For example, in Chicago it was 750 hours. However, here in California it is about 600 hours, I believe. So each state does have different laws and regulations when it comes to cosmetology and aesthetics as well. So I'm going to talk about what we did, kind of like a breakdown of the 7 months when I was in school. So the first 3 months, 3-4 months I believe, it was mainly theory. So it was all kind of like school work where we actually, you know, had to read and study and learn in an actual like classroom. Um, and then we also had to take tests, quizzes at the end of each lesson and chapter. So yeah, so we actually had to do all of that book work. So we learned also all about the skin anatomy, body anatomy. We also had to learn chemistry. Let's see, we learned obviously like the basics of giving facials and waxing and lashes, makeup, you know, all of that. And then the last 3 months, it was we spent taking actual clients in. For all of the 3 months, we performed facials, peels, waxing, makeup, makeup applications, lash applications, all that. So yeah, so after that, we in those last 3 months, it was mostly actual practice. However, we would still, you know, read chapters, take tests, and all of that in between taking clients. So it wasn't just taking clients, we were still doing the work and we were still learning more. But at the same time, we were taking clients. So yeah, it was a pretty intense 7 months, about 7 months. Because we had to go, well, in the school I went to, we had to go from, I believe it was like 7:30, 8 a.m. I don't really remember, it was a while ago now, till about 4:30 p.m. 4:30 or 5:30, I don't even remember anymore, around there. So we did get a lunch in between, obviously, but we were there Monday through Saturday from those hours. So kind of our only day off was on Sunday. So it was pretty intense, especially in Chicago in the winter. It was just brutal. But we had to do it for 7 months, and obviously it was worth it. We got licensed. So once I finished school, then right away I moved here to California. So I didn't get my license in Chicago. I just waited. I didn't really see a reason to get it in Chicago if I was just gonna move here, and I was going to have to go through the whole process again, which is not that easy, especially if you're going from school in one state and then trying to get your license in a whole different state. I speak for myself because it took me a very long time to get everything settled, even though I had obviously all of the requirements, more than I needed, but you know, everything does have to be through mail. There's not like an actual office. So there's not someone that you can just like call, because they're not really just going to tell you what to send, or like the whole process is just a little complicated. Well, it was for me. It might be different for other people, but for me it was a little complicated just because I was coming from a different state. But I'm sure if I had, you know, gotten my license in Chicago, it would have been pretty easy, especially obviously because I went to school in Chicago. So let's see. So I talked about all of that. Now, my plans. So what I really want to do is obviously get more experience and become a medical esthetician. So medical estheticians obviously work in a medical office where they do more aesthetic work. It's facials as well, but it's not just like a spot that you go to. It's more medical related. We talked about all that, so now let's talk about my goal. So now that I have my license, first I want to get more experience, which I am getting, but eventually I do want to become a medical esthetician. So The definition of a medical esthetician is helping a person improve his or her facial and physical appearance through near medical services such as laser hair removal, microdermabrasion, exfoliation, facial treatments, and other popular forms of skincare treatments. So it's not just based in a spot like regular estheticians, they're more in medical offices. So I do want to pursue that. However, each state does have different laws and regulations as well for that. Some states you can just be a regular esthetician with the aesthetics license, but other states require more hours or other programs that you have to take, and some even require for you to go back to school. So it just depends on the state you're in. But yeah, right now I want to get a lot more experience and knowledge since I am still very young and I am starting out, kind of, I do obviously have a lot of knowledge, but I do want to learn from the best and get better at what I do. So that would be my plan for the moment, and then obviously eventually become a medical esthetician. Alright, I think I covered most of the topics, and that was overall my experience getting my aesthetics license and going to school and everything. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.